I honestly believe that Walkerville in Windsor, Ontario is one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in all of Ontario. Okay? I was going to say Canada, but I mean, if you're like at the base of the Rocky Mountains, that's pretty sweet, you know what I mean? But honestly, I don't know where else you'd go to find neighborhoods this beautiful and at this price. Okay, this is Walkerville here. We're gonna go street by street through this whole neighborhood in Windsor, and I'm going to show you everything from houses that are $350 and $450 that are like the best you're gonna do in Ontario for that price range. For sure. You're not gonna get a better neighborhood, bigger house for that price range anywhere in Ontario, in my opinion. Also, we're going to look at $3 million mansions that are in the same neighborhood that are, they look like they're out of a Disney fairy tale. Okay, and there's more than one. There is some absolutely world-class, beautiful architecture from famous architects, homes from the 1800s all over this neighborhood. Gorgeous parks, beautiful churches, just, it's amazing. It almost feels like Europe in some spots, to be honest with you. Just because the age and the style and the architectural design, and whether you buy a house for $350 or you buy a house for $3 million, you're gonna be able to walk the same. Like when you take your dog for a walk, what a beautiful area to go for a walk. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you spend $350 or $3 million. You get the same walk. Okay, you get the same area. There's great restaurants. There's great parks. We're gonna go over all of it. Okay, so this is our map tour. Everything you need to know about Walkerville. Okay, so first off, this right here, this is Windsor. Obviously, if you're looking for Walkerville, it's to the right of the word Windsor here, okay? So Walkerville is from Walker Road all the way over to Parent Avenue, okay? And then it's from the river down to Tecumseh. Down here is South Walkerville. I'll probably just do that a different day just for timing reasons. But this is a really nice area. What you'll find is it's nicest up in this northeastern corner, and then as you go towards Parent, it gets less and less nice and cheaper homes. Now again, that's not to say that you shouldn't live over here, you know what I mean? It's not like Langlois is a terrible place to live. It's gonna be cheaper, and for that price range, again, it's gonna be the best you're gonna get in Ontario, okay? So we're going to talk some prices here soon. So I guess I'll start here. Do you see Willistead Park right here? Here's the deal. Walkerville was started in the 1800s by this guy Hiram Walker, who started this like distillery, which is now J.P. Weiser's. I'm not going to bore you with history, don't worry. But anyway, he wanted to build like a model city. So he got this architect from Detroit to come design a lot of these places, okay? So the bigger and nicer the home, the higher up the original position was at, like the executives lived on Willistead Crescent, their big homes. And the guy's son lived in Willistead Manor. It's a mansion that is now part of this big park, okay? So you can see here with some of the drone footage, this is the mansion right here. It's now public, so you can, I was at a wedding here at this thing, and it was absolutely beautiful, okay? And like if you're just going for a walk in the park one day, like this is the view, you know? It's such a beautiful park, and it's really large as well. Like if you look at the map here, like this is many city blocks, and if you look at the drone footage, you can see it's huge, right? So it's really nice to have that nearby. Whether you want to go for a jog or just take the dog for a walk or sit in the park and read a book, do whatever you want. It's an absolutely beautiful park, and it's right by St. Mary's Anglican Church right here, which again is also absolutely beautiful. It feels like an extension of the park. It's still like a church people still go to, but it's just got this like medieval vibe to it, you know? It's absolutely beautiful. A lot of the homes in this area are also on that same plane. So I'm gonna show you some really expensive ones and some more affordable ones that are really in this area that I'm telling you, when we look at the inside, it's gonna be like nothing you've seen except for like in a movie or on one of those home flipping shows, you know what I mean, where they renovate and whatever. Anyway, let's dive in here. So we'll start with Willistead Crescent right across from the park. This is an absolutely beautiful street, and I believe this is one of the streets where the homes were originally built for the executives that worked for the factory, okay? They're very large, like 3,500 square feet is not uncommon in this area, as you can see from some of this footage. And they're really wide lots too, so you're getting distance from your neighbor. You're not squeezed in right beside each other like they build them now. They're large homes with lots of land, lots of mature trees. And again, these are 150 years old or more. They have a lot of care. There's one for sale on the street right now. I think it's like 1.3. That's probably pretty typical of what these are gonna go for. Yeah, there's none. All right, I looked in our system. There's nothing that's, because you got to think, like, this is only one little street and it's very, very, very unique. So they don't come up for sale very often. So, and there's a wide range of how renovated it is and how updated and how old it is. So you're going to get a wide range. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one go for $2 million, and I'm sure you'll see some go for a lot less, depending on the size. So that's Willistead Crescent. If you come to Windsor and you want to walk around this neighborhood, walk down Devonshire. You can walk through this area. No one's got a problem. And then go down south of the park. You see Devonshire and Kildare. Like, these are absolutely beautiful streets as well. Some of the houses that you're seeing here on your screen are from those streets. These, again, so we're going to show you cheaper ones later that are a lot cheaper. But these ones I'm showing you are obviously some of the more expensive ones in the neighborhood. So it's not uncommon to go 7, 8, 900,000, $1 million, depending on the house. But I can guarantee you they're probably cheaper than where they are elsewhere in Ontario. Now let me show you something a little bit more affordable, okay? So if you come up north of the park, actually not even north of it, just over here on Monmouth. So there is a lot of townhomes here on Monmouth, and these are a hot ticket, man. People love these townhomes. First of all, just look at the outside. Like, it's a beautiful street. Lots of mature trees, full brick, gorgeous. They are small. You're gonna get a lot of 2-bedroom, 1-bathrooms in here, maybe 1.5 bathrooms. You're gonna get the occasional 3-bedroom in here. And I guess for that size, they're expensive, but they're much more affordable entry point than other stuff. So like $550 is a common price you'll see in here for a decent townhome, okay? And they can just go up from there. Like, you can find, a lot of them, these ones definitely have exposed brick, most of them. Give me a sec here, let me pull up one. Okay, so here's an example of one that's really nice on the inside. This is what I mean when I say old world, but updated. So they've really taken care of this one. And again, this thing's like 150 years old. And when you get to the inside, you'll see it's brand new, engineered hardwood floor. They have exposed brick in the living room and the kitchen here, which is just gorgeous. The only exposed brick you see in real estate, usually in Canada, is fake brick or like a wallpaper. This is real brick. Yeah, so they spent a lot of money renovating this, and this one sold. Okay, oh, we got waterfall countertops too. Like, they did a really good job in here opening it up as well. Because they're old, sometimes they can feel closed off, but they've done a really good job. And this sold a little under $700,000. Okay. Yeah, look at the beautiful exposed brick. They've done a great job in this home. So do you see what I mean when I say it's modern, but also old at the same time? Like, it's got that old world charm to it. I'll probably repeat that phrase a million times in this video. That's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom home. So again, they're small. Like, if you plan on having a bunch of kids, it's not gonna work for you. But a lot of young couples, single people, or downsizers really love these ones. If you want something a bit bigger, so walk these streets. Oh, by the way, renters too. Renters, if you walk these streets just beside that, up Argyle and stuff, there's apartment buildings there that are pretty affordable rent compared to a lot of places, and you kind of get the same neighborhood, you know? Again, you're renting a place for, I don't know, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month, and you get to, you know, walk the same streets and enjoy that neighborhood the same way someone that has a $2 million house would. The only downside you might find is because they're old, a lot of them weren't built with central air, so you might have to have a window air conditioner in there, so that does suck, but that's just part of the deal when you buy an old, or when you rent an old apartment, right? Anyway, I was gonna show you something a little bigger. Okay, so Devonshire. You see these right here on Devonshire? These are semi-detached homes, and these are beautiful. So this is me walking down the street, okay? They're head-to-toe brick, and these are gonna be a lot like those townhomes we looked at, except they're bigger. So now you might get 3 bedrooms. Now you might get 2 full bathrooms or more. Now you might get just more space. You won't feel as cramped in there. I don't have any recent sales. I know a little while ago they were selling for like $750, so you're probably still in that range. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say about them because I can't really show you pictures of the inside of any of these ones, but they're absolutely gorgeous. This is a really good option as well. And then you're right, if you're here, by the way, you're right at the corner where Twisted Apron and the Grand Cantina is. So maybe this is a good time to tell you about what I'll call downtown Walkerville. So this strip right here on Wyandotte Street, all along here, you get really nice restaurants, okay? And again, like, just look at the footage of the downtown. Like, it's really charming. It's a nice area. So one of the more popular restaurants right now is the Grand Cantina. Right here, they make fusion tacos. So it's tacos, but they're not like traditional tacos. There's all sorts of cool flavors and cool toppings. They've done a good job of keeping these buildings kind of updated. Again, they're all very old. So they kind of look old, but new at the same time. Like I said, they just a couple years ago renovated all of them. They've got a nice patio out the side. And then in the back of this strip of commercial, this commercial strip, you find stuff like this in Walkerville all the time. This is like a giant, beautiful art mural that's just in the alleyway behind that building. That's the kind of stuff. It's a very artsy neighborhood. In fact, we're going to talk about the high school a little later on, which is really well known for their arts programs, and there's people who have gone on to be on Broadway from Walkerville High School. So we'll talk about that, as well as look at a fairy tale mansion soon. And we're going to look at like houses that are like 350, 400. Street by street, it changes in Walkerville. So if you need more information and you're in that 350 range, you're like, what's a good area, what's a bad? Here's the thing too, guys. So I say Walkerville stops at Parent. I have seen people that are outside of that area that say that will advertise, oh, my home is in Walkerville, come rent it or come buy it, as if it has this prestige, but it's not, okay? It's not the same thing as being over here on Chilver. Do you know what I mean? So if you need help and you're looking to purchase a home in this area and you're like, I don't even know if this really is as good as they say, I'm not from the area, that's literally what I do for a living, guys. So you can just call me and I can give you a hand on buying a home in the Windsor area. People call me all the time. Don't be afraid, okay? So, but you can keep watching this video as well, and I'm gonna give you a ton of tips about Walkerville. So anyway, Twisted Apron, beside the Grand Cantina, is also a very, very, very popular restaurant. What's their rating right now? Why is it not opening? There we go. 4.5, 1,600 reviews. They're really well known for their breakfast or their brunch. It's very good. It's a nice area. Both of those restaurants have a really cool vibe on the inside too. They've done good. And then down here, you have 2 things. Kona Sushi is very popular in Walkerville. Look at that, 4.6 stars, even more. That's a really nice sushi spot with a cool vibe in there. It's like dim lighting, and they got like, I think, exposed brick on the interior as well. Boy, my internet sucks right now. What is going on? I have to reboot this thing. All right, and then you got Kildare House. Kildare House is it's a staple in the area. It's a English pub. It's been there for a long time. It's an old house, again, from like the 1850s that they've renovated to be a restaurant, but it still kind of looks like a house on the inside. So it's kind of cool. They got that nice car out front. It's like a landmark now in Walkerville. It's a nice spot to go. Here we go. My internet kicked back in, all right? This is some of their sushi here at Kona Sushi. I really like it. It's a great spot. What else we got here? Is there any photos of the inside? No? Just a bunch of sushi? Okay. I won't bore you with more sushi. But, yeah, so that is the main Walkerville area. Yeah, so that is the main commercial Walkerville area. Oh, if you go back in behind this street too, there's some cool stuff, like Tallulah Cafe is a really cute cafe that kind of has the same thing. It's super old building like everything else, and then it's got some exposed brick on the inside. They make a really good coffee, and they have some snacks and treats and stuff like that. So if you're meeting someone for coffee and you don't want to be one of the boring people that just meets at Tim Hortons, this is around the corner from Tim Hortons, okay? It's a really nice coffee shop. And I guess from here, okay, so there's something you need to know about the streets above Wyandotte Street, okay? So again, it changes street by street in Walkerville. So some of these are really nice, some of these are kind of grungy, okay? So we're gonna talk about that in just a second. Also want to tell you about the Waterfront Park. So it actually starts or ends, depending on how you look at it, in Walkerville. So you might know about Windsor. We've got this 10-kilometer boardwalk park all across the Detroit River here that looks at Detroit. So at night, it's beautiful. Like, this is what Detroit looks like at night. And I know Detroit's got like a bad name. People think it's like super, super, super dangerous. I go to Detroit all the time, okay? I've never had a problem. There's entire documentaries made about how much Detroit has changed for the better, okay? It's a really cool spot to go and watch sports games or concerts or whatever, but even if you're just staying in Windsor, you just want to go down to the Waterfront Park, it's a great park. Not only is Detroit beautiful, but not only is there also a lot of walking or running trails here. So if you want to go for a 10-kilometer run, it's 10 kilometers in each direction. You get 20K in, just like that. They've also got the Festival Plaza down here, walking distance from where you are in Walkerville. And at Festival Plaza, they've got this big stage, so they'll have concerts right at the waterfront with Detroit in the background. They also have like a summer fair there, with a big Ferris wheel. It's all lit up. It's absolutely beautiful. There's spots all along here that are very similar to that. Like, there's a fountain somewhere around here as well. There's kids' play parks. There's stuff everywhere. There's the giant flag right here at the front. I gotta tell you about these streets here, because you need to be careful. If you're buying a home in the Windsor area or in the Walkerville area, and you're looking above Wyandotte between Riverside, it changes drastically street by street, okay? So here's the thing. You're gonna wanna be on Lincoln. You're gonna wanna be on Chilver right here. These are beautiful homes. This really nice, again, you get like the large, renovated, 150-year-old homes that are gorgeous. That's what you're getting here. As you work your way west, changes drastically, even though it's still technically Walkerville, right? So if I drop a pin on Pierre, okay, look, perfect. Look at this. Like, this doesn't look that good. This doesn't look like what I've showed you so far in the video. This street has higher crime than the other streets. But they're gonna advertise that, oh, my house is in Walkerville. Now, if I go over 5 streets and I drop a pin on Chilver here, okay, that's under renovation, so it doesn't do that, doesn't give you the great picture. But this is a beautiful home. This is gorgeous. This is a completely different scenario, okay? Let's back out here. Let's go drop a pin. Okay, so and then this is probably a rental unit, it's probably a duplex, but even still, so this is a lot nicer than that street over there I showed you on Pierre. Like, there's a clear difference here in these streets. So you need to be careful to know where you're buying and if it's good. And again, if you're not from this area and you need some help, reach out to me. I can help you purchase a home and steer you in the right direction, because it can be tricky, because it does change quite a bit as you go street by street in this area. So if you look at, actually, you know what? So if you look at Lincoln, Gladstone, and I think Moy, you're gonna get a lot of 2-story homes that are pretty old, but pretty renovated. So I'll give you a price range for ones that are nice, because listen, anytime you get a neighborhood with old homes, you get a mix of things that desperately need renovation and haven't been kept up, and some that have. So I'm just gonna tell you prices for the ones that have been kept up right now. But some of these 2 stories, let's say you have vinyl siding, like right now, today is what I'm talking about. This prices can change. If it looks decent inside, you're probably getting it for $550. If it's really renovated, really nice, it can be $650 or more. Like let's say this one here is probably more. Like you can tell the owner is taking good care of this house. This is a 2-story home. You're probably a little over 2,000 square feet. Yeah, you're going to be probably $650 for that. Now, an important note about Walkerville, by the way. So you'll notice we have Lincoln here and we have Gladstone here. In the middle, this street has no name, and that's because it's an alleyway between the streets. So as I'm doing the street view, you'll notice a lot of people don't have front. Look at all the cars parked on the side of the road. People do street parking here. Very few people have a driveway in the front, but they do in the back. Okay, so you see this building right here? Garage, garage, garage. Can I go to satellite view? Yeah, so these are garages. This is the alleyway right here. So it's like King of the Hill. You ever watch King of the Hill? They're drinking in the back in the alley, okay? They park in the back. That's what happens here with these old streets. So you come down here, it's kind of tight. You know, if you got like a Suburban, maybe it's not the best idea. But yeah, 2 cars can go down here. And yeah, you got your garages and people enter in from the back and then guests park out front, okay? Just an FYI, it's gonna be like that on the cheaper houses as well, or even more so, I would say. Okay, so I think I've showed you a good example here. As you work your way east, it's not quite as nice. Again, it's all budget depending on what you have, but typically you want to stay a little bit further east over here. Sorry, as you work your way west, I meant to say. Okay, do you want to see a mansion? Okay, so I kind of didn't finish what I was saying at the start of the video. I will get to the 350s and the 450s, I promise. There's a lot to talk about, all right? But underneath, just below willistead Manor Park here, oh, I got to tell you about the high school too. Okay, bear with me. We got Kildare Road. We got Devonshire Road. These in here have these large, beautiful homes that are, again, like you're talking 150 years old. They've been renovated. You're talking, I mean, some of these. I mean, look at this one here. This has got to be like 3,500 square feet. Okay, and then there's this one, which is like right by the St. Mary's Church there. I showed you earlier on the other side of the park. Like just massive, gorgeous homes. Even the smaller ones are just beautiful beyond belief. What a great neighborhood to live in. Again, imagine just taking your dog for a walk every day in this neighborhood rather than the place you live right now, wherever it is in Mississauga or whatever, just congestion and cookie cutter homes. This is way better. You know what I mean? Cookie cutter homes, subdivisions, they're okay. This is a much better place to live and to play. Okay, anyway. In these, there's one currently for sale. You see this big rectangle right here? That's this house. This is gorgeous. So this is, oh man, this is the Low Martin Mansion. So this was originally built by a rum runner. So you know, like Al Capone in Chicago, big gangster, he has some ties here as well because we're at the border. So when in the 1920s during Prohibition, alcohol was banned in the States, they would smuggle it back and forth over this border. One of the guys, his last name is Lowe, I don't know who it is, you can fact check me, go ask AI, but he built this big mansion with his rum running money. Okay, then later it was bought by Paul Martin, who was our prime minister for a brief period, and so it's the Low Martin Mansion now, and you can go online and you can look at photos of the inside. Yeah, okay, so this was listed, so I can show you. It's actually, they're still offering it up for sale right now. I think it's in the $3 million mark. But I hope my drone footages have given you a good idea of what it looks like on the outside. Like, it's very fairy tale-esque, eh? Like, it looks like something out of like a Brothers Grimm fairy tale or some Disney, some Beauty and the Beast kind of mansion. I don't know. But it's a big lot, it's a big house. And then on the inside, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think I've seen Beauty and the Beast since I was probably 5 years old. But this reminds me of what the guy's mansion looked like. The Beast. You could be the Beast if you buy this house. All right? You got a spare $3 million lying around. That's crazy. That's your master bedroom. There's like a library up here above your bed. That's wild. Wow. Jeez. That's green. That's very green. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to flip through all... That's very purple. I'm not going to flip through all the photos, but... Devonshire Lodge. There you go. There's some history for you. Anyway, that's the Low Martin Mansion, and it's another beautiful building in Walkerville. But I need to get to showing you affordable things, or you're going to be like, Ryan, you promised. Okay, so as we work our way, so from willistead Park, as we work our way west, now we get to more affordable homes. And what you're going to find is a lot of 2 stories that are squished in together, and also bungalows and 1.5 stories that are squished in together. These are significantly cheaper, okay? But again, if your budget is like $350 to $450 in Ontario, I don't think you're getting a better neighborhood. Let's just drop a pin. Let's do the old pin drop, okay? Great spot to drop a pin, okay? So this is what Walkerville looks like. Again, these houses are gonna have an alleyway in the back with parking. The front, you don't get parking. This house right here is a bungalow, okay? The price range for this house, depending on, how it looks inside, is probably anywhere from $325 if it needs a bunch of work, or $400 for, even for, if it's absolutely beautiful, $450. But I mean, it's probably not that high right now, today's market. Then you get houses. You see the dormers up top. So this is like a 1.5 story, 1 3/4 story. You might pay a little bit more for that. And then most of the 2 stories, unless they need a ton of work, like this one right here. I'm not saying it needs a ton of work. I mean, 2 stories like this one, you're going to start around $450, $400 maybe, up to $550, $600. Again, there's a wide range because obviously it could have a finished basement. It could not. It could have an out-of-date kitchen. It could not. It could smell moist in the basement, maybe. Who knows, right? So there is that range. Let me show you something. Okay, so for the 2 stories, I think this is like a really good example for you, okay? This isn't a massive 2-story. And they're not usually in Walkerville. Like this is probably 1900 square feet, but it's a detached 2-story in Ontario in a great neighborhood for under $450. This sold for under $450, okay? And as you can see, like I'm actually impressed. Like a couple years ago, you definitely weren't getting this for $450. You can tell they've renovated it. It's got new floorings. It's got that beautiful accent wall. Fresh coat of paint. Not like paint super expensive. Oh, look at the kitchen. It's a nice kitchen. That's stone countertops. Brand new IKEA cupboards, I guarantee you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, buddy. Yeah, relatively updated appliances. Like this is a nice little home. There's a bedroom. Yeah. And then, okay, so here's the thing. So I don't know what houses are like where you're from, but in Walkerville, in this area, you often get narrow homes, okay? So do you see this lot? It's like 30 feet wide. So this isn't like the 50, 60, 70 foot wide lots like back in the day when you have a wide home. They're gonna be narrow and long homes, okay? And it's not gonna have a huge backyard. But do you see this here? This is your garage in the back. So it does have the alleyway with garage parking. And this sold for under $450. There's your garage, okay? That is gonna be hard to do anywhere else in Ontario. And this is a good neighborhood. Okay, I wanna show you this one too, because this is another 2-story, but this one needs a bit of work. It's a bit outdated. So, and the price was almost the same. So it's bigger, but out of date significantly compared to the last one. Price almost the same, because that kind of shows you, that kind of shows you what Walkerville is like here and how different each home can be. So we've got original hardwood floors. It's still got that old charm to it, right? All the trim and the staircase, like that's old world charm right there. They put down a nice rug, so this really makes the room look nicer. I know I'm just looking at a photo, but those windows look decent. They look like vinyl clad windows. But you're gonna get a lot of scratches on this floor, like it's an old floor, it's gonna be scratched up a bit and it's gonna creak a lot. Like that's the thing. I don't know, a lot of people that watch these videos, they love new homes, right? They want like brand new. This is not that. This is gonna be part of the charm of these old homes is your kid can't sneak out at night because you hear creaking as they walk through. And then here you go, okay? They throw a brand new kitchen in here. This sells for a lot more. I can tell you that right now. These cabinets are going to be from about 1960, I think. Old appliances, not a lot of functionality here. Look how close the stove is. Like this drawer can't open if the stove is open. You know what I mean? So it's not a great kitchen. And you do find this a lot in Walkerville. Homes like this that are outdated, okay? So just something to keep in mind. It looks like they redid the floors upstairs though. So there's been a few renovations, but... And there's and they got a basement in this one. Very nice. Okay. So yeah. So again, you're selling around the 450 mark. There's a lot of house here, guys, but it definitely needs work. Do you know what I mean? And then I just want to show you a ranch as well. Okay, so this house here actually is a 1.5 story, and this is a really good example of something you see a lot in Walkerville, okay? So when I show you these streets here, this drone footage, and maybe the footage of me walking, I don't know, I'll put it in after, but you can see it's a mix of the 2 stories and the 1.5s and the small ones. That's pretty much what this area is. This here, I'll tell you right now, is sold around the 350 mark. Now, if we look inside, it looks nice, but remember, this is a small house. So you walk in the front door, there's no front closet, and you're right in the living room as soon as you open the door. There's no like entryway. A lot of it's just, honestly, it's just the way they built a lot of these old homes back in the day, okay? So it just is what it is. Hard to tell how beat up the floor is or how nice it is in this photo. But yeah, a little dining room there, and then they got a white kitchen. I don't think these are granite countertops or anything, but it's a nice kitchen. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that for $350. You know. Meanwhile, you take your $350 and you go to any other city in Ontario, you're barely getting a 1 or 2 bedroom condo for that. You know what I mean? Here you get a detached house. They're calling it 4 bedrooms. I think it's probably more realistically 3. I think this little thing is probably being counted as a bedroom, but. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice little home, right? For $350, and then you have rear parking. You don't have a garage, but this is the alleyway, and then this is where you park, right? So, so that gives you an example of what a lot of them are selling for in the Walkerville area. Once you go west of Chilver, Windermere, Lincoln, Gladstone, Moy, you get a lot of those 2 stories, and then as you go further east, you still get 2 stories, but I think you get a lot more ranches and 1.5 stories. As you go, or sorry, further west here. If you need help figuring out like what street's the best for you, like I can tell you right now, Pierre, Marion, Langlois, those are the streets that are, you can find a house that's renovated and beautiful on those streets, but some of them are a bit, maybe a little bit more blue collar, and you might be a bit smaller. Maybe you're gonna find more that need updating in that area. If this is the kind of information that you think would be helpful to you when you're looking for a home, you can feel free to give me a call. My job is to help people move to the area. Me and my team can help you find the right home that's right for you at the right price. Because again, like I said, you got $350, $450, $550, $650. It doesn't matter. Like in this area, you're going to get a better house than you're going to get pretty much in anywhere else in Ontario for those same prices. Okay, it's a good area. It's a safe area. It's beautiful, especially if you're over here on the western part of it. And I don't know, I think if you take your 500, you go to Toronto, you'll be lucky to get a decent, even Kitchener, you know, like for 500, I don't think you're getting anything that is this quality in a neighborhood that is this nice and trendy and beautiful. So again, if you need help figuring out what street would be right for you, what house would be right for you, that's my phone number right there. Feel free to reach out. You can give me a call anytime. If I'm sleeping, it's on silent. I'm not going to hear you anyway, okay? So, yeah, feel free to reach out. Shoot me a text first. That usually works better, and we can figure something out, okay? Now, let's look at Walkerville High School, and then we're going to look at a couple streets I really like that are a little bit cheaper, okay? So, we're in Walkerville. Walkerville High School is right beside the park, which is kind of cool. Okay, this is what the high school looks like. Like I said, everything in Walkerville is beautiful. All of these old buildings, the architecture, they make them so boring nowadays. Houses are built as cookie cutters. They're built to be these, and I realize this isn't a house, but it goes for everything, right? Like houses are built nowadays, there's like 2 designs, they're built to be cheap, throw them up, get a good profit off them. But the houses here in Walkerville that I was talking about earlier, these really nice ones, these were built first to be beautiful. They had an experienced architect come in and design amazing homes. And then the second thing was maybe price, but there's no cookie cutters here. They're all beautiful. Anyway, I get distracted. Walkerville Collegiate Institute is a high school, and it is an arts high school. Windsor has a program where if you want to specialize in maybe tech or art or this or that or sports, there's certain high schools that you can go to even if you're outside of their district that specialize in those things. And as you can see, the second picture here is like the band. This is an arts high school. There was, I believe, I hope I'm not wrong about this and I'm not just lying here, but CBC had this like big thing a few years back that was the Annie play, but they filmed it live and it was like on TV. I believe one of the main girls from that came out of Walkerville High School. There's a lot of you go to a play at Walkerville High School, people can legit sing. Like legit, they're not teenagers trying to learn to sing. They're absolutely amazing at it. And yeah, people go on to be in plays in Toronto and Stratford and musicals and on Broadway, I think even, okay? A lot of great talent at this school. Now, I want to show you some houses, okay? Back to houses. I haven't really talked much about south of Ontario Street. You see this? Or Ottawa Street, rather. You see this? This is Ottawa Street. There's a couple nice restaurants and stuff in there, too. Like, it's got, like, a little trendy, like, downtown in this area. If I drop a pin, am I lying to you? If we go a little bit further down, see, they got this as a welcome to Ottawa Street. And, yeah, there's some nice shops and stuff right here. There's a very expensive luxury men's department store, Freed's, that's been around forever. It's okay. The Ottawa Street one, obviously Wyandotte one, I've showed you is better. But anyway, down here, south of that street, you get a lot more of the same thing, right? So affordable homes, 1.5 stories, 2 stories, and they're going to be in that same range, 300 to 500 kind of thing. If you go down south of these train tracks, I feel like these are forgotten about sometimes. I don't know why. And they're just as nice as all the other ones, and you can pick up a pretty good deal on Kildare, Chilver, Windermere, great streets to live on. One place I really like is Durham. I've sold a couple homes here for first-time homebuyers, and I like it because everything I've shown you so far in Walkerville has been like really tight next to the neighbor, right? Like they're not big lots, they're 30 feet wide. These are bigger. Now, I'm sure like they're small homes, so maybe that makes it look bigger than it is. But I like that you get a bit of separation here from the neighbors. You get a garage. These are really nice little starter homes. They are little. They are little. Don't get me wrong. Main floor, 700 square feet, plus the 3/4 story up here with maybe 2 bedrooms up there. So you get a little bit more space. But I just think it's a quiet street. Everyone always forgets about this street. No one's coming down this street. Oh, look at that one. It's a bigger one. Just a beautiful area, and again, you're probably in the 400 range for a lot of homes in this area. Actually, maybe even smaller, less money for the small ones. Windsor Regional Hospital is right across the street as well. This is our main hospital for now. In 2027, they're going to break ground and start building the mega hospital, as they're calling it, down here off 42. But, I mean, they're not even going to start building that until 2027, so you got a few years even after that before it's complete. Okay, I think I've covered basically everything I want to cover in Walkerville. You know what? If you go down Ottawa Street, just one more thing. They do have some cool shops on the Ottawa as well. Where did it go? Oh yeah, down here. This is like one of the last remaining used bookstores. Juniper Books. That's not Juniper Books. Where'd it go? Boy, I'm lost. Oh, there it is. It's like right beside it. This is Juniper Books. This is a used bookstore again. So they built like a front business thing, but this is an old house. You can see that they've turned into a used bookstore. So it still looks like a house in there. So like they'll have like the dining room and it's got all the mystery books. And they got like the living room. It's got all the history books. Upstairs in the bedrooms, you got the sci-fi. Downstairs, economics. You know what I mean? It's a really cool used bookstore. I think you should go support this bookstore because used bookstores are closing like crazy. And I think they're awesome. I love a good used bookstore. So go to Juniper Books and it's beautiful. It's like everything else in Walkerville. It's got some beauty inside, okay? Anyway, that is everything I want to tell you about Walkerville this time. So if you need more information, my phone number's on the screen. I specialize in helping people move to this area. I got a little team here that can help you out. We can make sure we find you the right home at the right price. Yeah, just give me a call. Tell me what your goals are, and we'll see how we can help, okay? I appreciate you watching. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.